Hey everyone, it's JW again. So today I'm going to be reviewing the um, Ultra Commander figure from Tobot V or Tobot Galaxy Detectives. And as of this recording, I have um, already done Maximus V, and as of this recording, I am in the process of buying Master V, Troll, and Troll slash Beast, um, Arc Bolt or Lightning, Classic or Paragon, and Agent, or I think his name was Titan Saber. So until those figures arrive, I'm going to be ending off with Giant or Gigant V or Giant V and Justice V or Twin Blade. What's his name? Twin Blade. Yeah, was his name was Twin Blade, and then I'm gonna be reviewing the big guy, the Gigant Saber, or I think his name was Giant Justice in the English show. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's start reviewing Ultra Commander. So Ultra Commander here is basically it's like a military truck vehicle. There's a lot of dust here. I just got this out of the box. I should clean that out soon. I like his wheel design though. They're little spikes. And that's basically it. This is his Toki here. It's like a little ranger badge. We'll put this off to the side for now. And then, well, actually, this guy is the reason why he's so long is this part. I guess it's basically a mini trailer, I guess. But it's where his arms are. He's somewhat apart from me because if you lose this thing, you lose his arms. So keep that in mind. Aside from that, well, you can open this up and because he doesn't really have any doors. So unless you count these as doors, but they seem like more like windows. I think these seem like the door to the entrance of the truck. So aside from that, I guess that's kind of it for the truck one. I do like that it has this design here. It's like a little roof design here. And this guy, he does a pretty interesting thing, which I will show you in a little bit after the robot mode. So that's basically about it for the truck mode. I like the wheels design. I just really like the colors, like a navy blue. He's a ranger commander basically. So that's about it for the vehicle mode. So let's get into transformation. To start off first, we're just gonna remove the trailer. So pop this off and we'll settle this off to the side for now. And next, we'll come to the bottom. And these are his feet, so you're gonna unlatch them. There's a little, I'm not sure if you can see, there's a little tab in there. It goes into a clip right here. And then you're gonna straighten them out. And pull out his feet. Do the same thing. The other side, pop it out, straighten it out, and pull out his toes. You split the legs, and then you bring these shin guards down, and they're just connected by pegs inside there and pegs on the thighs. So we'll set them down. Next, we need to do his upper body. Now, his upper body is kind of flimsy though, because this thing has a really weak clip system. I mean, it's very weak. I think it's just maybe an issue on mine, but it is very weak. So aside from that, let's you unclip it or you untab it, and you're supposed to turn the waist around like this. But it's hard, and I don't want to risk damaging Ultra Commander. So what I do is I just do this first, and I turn it around like this, and it'll push itself out. And then clip it down. There's a little clip there, basically where it tabbed in before, the cab of the truck, and then it'll tab in right there, and then there's some little pegs here that will go into some little notches in there. So it is a very tight connection actually. So next you're gonna, oops, hit the monitor. Anyways, next you'll rotate the arms around like this. Basically, you get the sides of the truck, need to put them upside down so you see these stars, these 2 stars on the sides of the truck. So turn them around, and now let's get the Toki here. Ranger badge. You'll plug it up here like this. There's a slider joint. Basically what this connects is that there's a slider area here, and this is gonna clip in right there. So just slide it in and then tab it in. And it's a very strong connection, like it will not break at all. So the props at Young Toys for that. And then next we're gonna have to turn around my camera. And then we're gonna grab the Toki. Well, you could do this without the Toki, but it's gonna be hard. So I prefer to plug the Toki in and then pull it back. And you hear it squeaking. That squeaking is oddly very annoying. So I'll have to put maybe some oil, maybe just boiling. But you pull out the head, and for some reason this somehow really reminds me of Transformers Prime Bulkhead's head for some reason. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. And then once you're done, you put this back in, and now we need to do it with the arms. So the way the arms work is pretty neat. You basically get the trailer, you split them apart, you extend the connection port from the truck, and then you get this little arm port here, and you'll bend the arms down, rotate it like this, and fold this back, and there's a peg here that'll peg into a little peg hole in there. So that's his arm, and the way this tabs on is there's a little port on the side here and a little peg in there. So this will just tab in and then pull it up. Same thing with this side. So pop this out, pop this down, rotate it in, fold up the trailer section, and then plug it on the other side of Ultra Commander. And this is Ultra Commander in his robot mode, and I like to say, aside from the feet, he looks like an actual standard Ranger. Well, I guess what you could do is you could fold in the feet so that you could hide that he is a this guy has an extension mode that basically makes him a triple changer. I will get to that in a little bit. But anyways, aside from that, he looks really nice. Let me extend the feet again. The feet really helps him with his bounce. So basically, he is he's a very robust guy. He's very big and bombastic. I mean, he has giant shoulder pads here with giant wheels. He has a big bulky chest with like a very tiny bulky head, and then his legs are so adequate and beefy. That's basically about it for his robot mode. His posability is it's pretty moderate. His head can look up and down, so that's one thing. It can't rotate side to side, which is a shame. The arms could go around 360. Well, I guess you can count this as a joint, but it's not really a joint. It's more of a transformation joint. But the arms could go around 360. And careful if you rotate the arm around, it'll collapse on itself. They can rotate around 360 like that, very easy. They could go in and out, very easy. They can go in quite a bit as well, which is pretty neat. You can rotate. He has like 2 in and out joints. He has the in and out joint right here on the connection point, and he has an in and out joint up here on his little shoulder ratchet here, which is so basically you get like a super in and out pose, or like a super out pose. So plug that in. So, and he can rotate above the elbow, and he can rotate at the elbow. Not perfectly 90 degrees, but it's there. And I believe his fists cannot rotate, because I think I remember one of the Tobot figures could have a wrist articulation. But aside from that, his legs, well, his legs are kind of limited. They can go forward only 1 click. They can go back also only 1 click because of his sort of Ranger belt here. But they could go in and out pretty far. And they have these joints right here. He has this joint right here, but it's kind of for for the extension mode. You can rotate at the knee, but if you rotate them too far, it'll remove the shin guard. But you could fix that by just bending it like this, and then like that. Pull this out. And basically that's it. What I like to do is, because these things, the little trailer things in the back, I like to think of it as like, say, like he's gonna like fight someone or something. He's gonna use these as like little, not boxing gloves, but like I guess brass knuckles. They're not really knuckles because they're kind of like gloves, but they're basically used for fighting. I would put it that way. I don't think he used it in the show though. And I like to pull these out, like say if he's gonna, yeah, of course he's a ranger, so like if he's gonna help maybe like kid rangers build something, you know, shovel them up. And also, by the way, he has, before I get into the beast, the triple changer mode, he has little like 3 partners that are like, they're basically Tobot kids. Like, have you ever seen those Play School Rescue Bot toys? They're basically like that. Now the problem is, I do not like those guys at all because one, they're expensive for how small and chibi they are and how simple their transformations are, and for how much waste in the space their box gets. And aside from that, they don't really do anything besides just stay with Ultra Commander because they look so out of place in the Tobots area. So I don't really want them, and plus they're really hard. They're really hard to find in my local Toys R Us or in my local Toy Kingdom, or in AliExpress. I was looking for them, but I couldn't find one either. So basically, this is really all I could. Ultra Commander is the best one. I suggest you do not get those 3 small chibi figures. I really. They're kind of waste of money, waste of box, and waste of talent, because this guy just by himself is a pretty cool guy. Like, you can store cars on him. Like, say, if you get Leo Rover, you can plug him on top in the truck mode, which is pretty cool. Although he is very out of scale, because Leo Rover is a muscle car, and this guy's supposed to be a giant military truck. The problem is, Leo Rover is basically as tall as this guy in car mode, so whatever. Let's get to the exciting part. Well, not exciting part, but like the interesting part of this guy. So the way this works is you're gonna basically plug his arms back in the trailer position. So plug this back in, and I'm kind of scared to remove these because they are really tight for what they're supposed to be, and I am afraid that in the future I am gonna break these ports or break the connection inside of it. As you can see, the plastic is actually starting to warp. So let's try the other side. Oh boy, okay, wow, that is tough. And then you clip them together. You just clip them. There's peg hole, there's a peg, and then there's a tab, there's a clip, and then there's a hole, and then there's a tab in here. So this in together. Forgot to tab that in. And I'm sorry if this is going off camera. This guy is somewhat huge in his robot mode, and it's gonna be even like that when I get to Gigant V or a Giant V. And then aside from that, you're just gonna pull these out basically like in the shovel position, like that, and we'll put this out to the side. Next, we'll deal with Ultra Commander himself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open the annoying squeaky part, and then put back his head and plug it in. Remove the Ranger key. And then, let's start with the legs first. And then the legs, you go in and out, plug them in like this. Basically, fold them out like this to give them a wider, I guess, a wider stance. There we go. There you go. Like, basically, there are his legs. And then you bring up his feet back into like the truck mode position, and then you bring them forward about two clicks for me. And then, yeah, basically what this does now is that since these parts are no longer here, they no longer interfere with this thing, and the red ratchet joint has a lot of space. So 2 clicks. They can go about like 4 clicks actually. Look, you can sit down if you want to. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you bend his legs down, I think 2 clicks. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So, and I think you know where this is going at now. And then you pull out these small little arms, these teeny arms here. and rotate. Basically, what I did here is I fold them out, around, fold them down, and then fold up the hand. So same with the other side. Fold it out, fold it down, fold this in, and fold that claw up. And now you can kind of guess what we're going at here. So what you do next is you fold this out, put the Ranger key, plug it in here, plug it in, fold up the head, and plug it in. And this is a Kaiju mode, which is very surprising. I didn't know a military truck. I didn't expect a military truck to turn into this. Like, have you heard of the what's it called? Gyrozetter, I think it was called. The little vehicles that could turn into animals. This is kind of like that if Gyrozetter did it correctly. This is kind of cool here. And now what you do with this thing is you'll fold this back here, and you'll see two pegs will put in, and this will be his giant tail. And this is Ultra Commander in his Kaiju mode, and I think this thing looks pretty freaking impressive. Like, I really like how all of his parts basically they don't compress, they kind of widen out. Like you can see his chest somehow became even more bulkier because of how tiny his arms are. I like his head sculpt though, I really like it. Proposability though in this mode, well, nothing in the head because it's too big. Well, it can look down, but I prefer to have it up to connect with the crest. The mouth can open like that, so I like, and then the arms can go around, not 360 if you have them like this, but if you pull them in and out, you can spin them around. You can rotate around the fist too, which is pretty neat. The legs can go forward and back, not much because of the tail, but they can go in and out, rotate at the knee, and rotate at the toe. I forgot to show this off in the robot mode. And yeah, he has an not ankle articulation, but foot articulation. So you could basically, like, for example, he's about to like stop a falling building or something. He's like, or like he's trying to stop like a giant airplane. He's like, his honor guard is skidding. He's like, even though his leg just collapsed on me. And let's get another Tobot here. Let me get one from my shelf here. There we go. Let's get an older figure you might remember from my third video, Big Trail. And yet somehow Big Trail is bigger than a freaking Kaiju. So the scale isn't really consistent on Tobots. I mean, look at the original ones. Tobot R, as I said in some of the previous videos, Tobot R is about as big as Evolution Y. When in reality, he's bigger than all of the other Tobots. Aside from the combiners, I think he is a bit bigger than Titan, if I'm not mistaken. But like Triton or Quatron or Deltatron or Giga 7, he's definitely smaller. But this guy, on the other hand, this guy is like supposed to be like, I think 2 times bigger than Maximus V. But in robot mode, he's like the size of slightly taller than Leo Rover and, like, say, Captain Jack. In the show, at least. But in this one, Big Trail seems awfully taller than him. I think Big Trail, in consistency, would be... Bend down his knees. Big Trail would be about this tall compared to him. Like, or it could be a bit smaller because he is just a regular Tobot. He's not your giant combiner. He's just a regular Tobot, and yet he could still beat this guy. I guess we could try to see if we can make him ride him. So let's put this in. I have not done this before, so don't judge me. So pull this in, and this thing will try to fall back. Now let's take Big Trail here. Let's pull out his knees. Oops. There we go. And then, well, it works, I guess. Although his feet are, Big Trail's feet are in a very awkward position, but he can ride. He can ride Ultra Commander, which is pretty neat. So basically, Ultra Commander, I recommend him basically as much as Big Trail. Just remember, if you're gonna get him just because he's big, he's not. But aside from that, he has a pretty cool truck mode, pretty cool robot mode, and a pretty cool Kaiju mode, which is pretty neat, if you don't mind the size and consistency. So, basically, these two are glorious. Like, I would recommend Big Trail, but since Ultra Commander is the main guy in the video, I would recommend him basically as much as Maximus V. He's as good as Maximus V. So that is Ultra Commander, a great figure. Definitely recommend picking him up. Like if you're going to go like Amazon or stuff like that or whatever. And in the next video, I'll be reviewing Gigant V, also known as Giant V. So stay tuned for that one.